Alrighty guys, we're back for Gruul Dragons, and this is an Edge of Eternities standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Now this one is actually based around Tannuk, Steadfast second, the most powerful of all the dragons in here. No, it's actually not a dragon, unfortunately, it's a Kavu pilot. 4 mana, 3/5, legendary creature. Other creatures you control have haste, okay. Artifact cards and red creature cards in your hand have warp for just 2 and a red. Okay, so that's why it's packed into a dragon deck list, even though it's not a dragon, right? What we're going to be pairing this with in Gruul Dragons is actually Savage Ventmaw on the top end here as a 4 of 6 mana, 4/4 flying. When it attacks, add triple red, triple green. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. So the goal here is to get Tannuk down, hopefully early on. We do have a little bit of early ramp here with Sarkhan, Dragon Ascendant, for example. Yeah, all 4 of these packed in. Actually not going to take the time to go over Sarkhan right now. Should be excellent in here. Anyways, warp in the Savage Ventmaw off of the Tannuk ability. It has haste because of the Tannuk ability. Swing with the Ventmaw, get triple red, triple green, and then maybe drop a Smuggler surprise. All 4 of these packed in. This is a 1 green mana instant speed spree cost. I am going to take the time to go over it because it's a huge part of this deck list. So the spree cost for the additional cost of 2, mill 4 cards. You may put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among the milled cards into your hand. For the additional cost of 4 and a green, so 6 total mana, you may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. And then the bottom spree cost comes in handy sometimes, I suppose, for the additional cost of 1, creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So, early Tannuk, right? Turn 3 Tannuk. Warp out the Ventmaw next turn. And then swing in, get 6 mana, drop a Smuggler surprise at instant speed, and drop a couple creatures from your hand. Now, what are the best creatures to hit? How about Twinflame Tyrant? 5 mana, 3/5, flying dragon, of course. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. So you hit a couple Twinflame Tyrants, double 4 to 8, double 8 to 16. Maybe you're swinging with Tannuk on the ground too. That sounds pretty wild stuff, but you're not always going to hit 2 Twinflame Tyrants. So we do have other top end in here that would not be terrible to hit at all. We have a couple Craterhoof Behemoth. It's very important to note that this is not a red creature, so you will not be able to warp it out with Tannuk. It's still just in here on the top end because of all 4 Smuggler surprise being packed in, of course. Now, outside of the ramp on Sarkhan, Dragon Ascendant, we have ramp with Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind. If we don't have Tannuk on the board, giving our dragons haste by other means is going to be pretty important sometimes. More ramp with Bloomvine Regent, the Omen side, of course, grabbing Forest from the deck list, slamming one onto the board, the other one goes to your hand, right? And then also just the dragon side of this is actually pretty decent. 5 mana, 4/5. When this creature or another dragon you control enters, you gain 3 life, which is really good. And Smuggler's surprise too. If you're dumping a couple dragons onto the board, all of a sudden your life total goes up and you got some great blockers. At instant speed too, you can do this on the opponent's turn quite successfully. Okay, what else do we got packed in? Did I go over Nova Hellkite yet? No, right? I would have rearranged it. I think that in this deck list in particular, this one's definitely worth rearranging for the warp cost of 3. Yep, for Hellkite, you don't actually need Tannuk on the board to drop the warp. 5 mana, 4/5, flying haste, warp cost for 2 and a red. When it enters, deals 1 damage to target creature and opponent controls, which honestly pops a lot of different things. Now, what's really cool is actually curving into Hellkite right after the Sarkhan, too. Sarkhan on 2, behold your Hellkite. Let the opponent know what they're getting themselves into next turn, right? Turn 3, maybe you play your 3rd mana. Now you don't got to use the treasure token from the Sarkhan. And then you warp in the Hellkite. Sarkhan goes into the air, gets the extra +1/+1 counter. It's a pretty decent turn 3, right? 7 in the air. That's cool. Really cool curve. Also, Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest, going to be a terrific one, whether we're giving it haste on the Carnelian Orb or warping this out for 3 mana off the Tannuk. Over in the mana base, guys, I just kind of feel like this deck list in particular isn't very greedy as far as what we have on the board mana-wise. So I don't have too many dual lands. We do have all 4 Stomping Ground and all 4 Thornspire Verge. A couple Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon as well for more mana fixing, I suppose, and then actually just 14 basic lands. Yeah. Honorable mentions, guys. A ton of things. Charming Scoundrel, Piercing Exhale, Iron Crag, Dragonstorm Globe. I think Carnelian Orb's going to be much better, though, but the extra counters could come in handy. 4-mana dragons like Magmatic Hellkite. It's super weird skipping the 4-mana dragons. Encroaching Dragonstorm. Terror of the Peaks could be played over the Twinflame, but the hope is we're winning on swings and not just winning on dumping creatures onto the board. But yeah, something to consider. A Wildling for Gruul Dragons feels really weird skipping over this one. And Terror of Mount Velus could be cool as like a top-end one of. This could be a really, really cool one to warp out for 3 mana, right? So, okay, guys, wait, one more thing. Guys, removal is important for Molten Exhale. Yeah, should be fine. Probably not enough removal for what the deck list is trying to do, but we'll see, we'll see. I do my D&Ds to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. Sometimes I fail because there's just too many new things to go over or something. Well, either way, look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Well, I was sitting there and I was like, you know what I haven't done in a while? I haven't lost. So let's sit down. Let's lose some games. No, I'm just teasing, guys. No, I think it's going to be really janky. But when it does the thing, it should really do the thing. So, no green source. Right after I got done saying I don't think the mana base is going to be very greedy. Early removal. You know what, man? Why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens here. That's what I get for making that joke about losing, right? Iron Claw, nice. Oh, Tannuk, wow, that's really good. As long as we find the 4th mana in time. Molten Exhale is open if we behold a dragon, which I don't mind doing. Keeping the exhale at instant speed. Or in this scenario, it specifically reads flash. They go for the swing. Yeah, I feel like we have better targets for the Molten Exhale, right? They're just going to activate the Hired Claw ability. Alright, we took 1 extra damage, but they wasted their mana for the turn, so... Reveal the Hellkite. Ooh. Holy cow, guys. This is really stacking up. If we find our 4th mana, this could be crazy, man, because Mono Red might have trouble removing Tannuk because of the 5 toughness. Of course, Witchstalker Frenzy is still a thing, but Screaming Nemesis. Come on, 4th mana off the top. 4th mana. No. My heart. Right, so we're in danger now, buddy. We're in a lot of danger. Second Nemesis or something would pretty much be a nail in the coffin, right? Second Nemesis, swing for 6. Ow. All right, hey, we got there, guys. Down to 8 we go. Yes. Dude, seriously? If that happened last turn, look at this hand. Of course, Tannuk would have had to survive too, but I'm pretty sure we're dead no matter what here, guys. So I'm getting the good game ready. Like I said, second Nemesis would be the nail in the coffin because we realistically can't block. Even if we do block, damage is still going to our face. So, well, if we block, they might take out the Tannuk. We might survive, but if we lose the Tannuk, then what's the point, right? They drop the GGs. Wait, I accidentally dropped the GGs early. Well, I hope they have it here then. Yeah, they have it. Okay. I don't like accidentally dropping the GGs early because it could be rude if they don't have it. Especially if we were about to pop off on the next turn. You know what? I feel like this was actually a good showcase of the deck list, right? Because we were just 1 mana short for that 1 turn. We just happened to miss the mana. Even though I kept the hand, I guess at that point too, if we had green on the board, even the Omen wasn't really going to help us at that point. We just really, really needed to see the 4th on time for the Tannuk. And if we would have seen it, Tannuk one turn sooner. There's no guarantee that they wouldn't have had the Witchstalker Frenzy in hand, but what we would have had was the Warping Ventmaw and the Smuggler Surprise. Depending on what else we had in hand at the time, I guess we wouldn't have seen the Regent then, right? Unless the Regent was underneath the Stomping Ground instead. There's a lot to talk about in that one, actually. Because the opponent also could have missed the second Screaming Nemesis, which still would have given us that extra turn, which really, really matters. Yeah, just one extra turn. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe we're explosive enough on that top end to actually be safe. Keeping it. Heck yeah, dude. Good stuff. Pretty much any top end draw with this one. But I think just ramping into the Twinflame Tyrant is going to be pretty good here. I'll hide the fact that we have green for now. Come on down, Sarkhan. Twinflame Tyrant. Okay, hey, Stomping Ground. Verge, Carnelian Orb, keep the treasure. Even though we'll have 5 anyways, we still want to make sure we still have 6 for when it comes time. Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll swing, right? Yeah, we get 2 through. Nice. Cool. I'd say it's worthwhile taking the turns for some setup here. I mean, if we see... I mean, we have 4 surprises packed into the deck list, and we'll already have 6 mana next turn. Seize the spoils. Oh, buddy, Galta in the grave. Okay. Maelstrom. We got good damage for the turn, but we might die next turn, huh? I mean, we're gonna go for the swing for sure. Down to 6. Get the good game ready. No, I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking. Right, opponent? Okay, let's see how much they hit here. If they give any of their dinos haste, we are probably dead. Ooh, not dead. Alive. No flyers. They need some removal here for the Twinflame Tyrant, guys. Grab the prize. That could help. No, I mean, they're tapped out. What am I saying? We might be okay. See what they see on the Gishath Sun's avatar. They find... Okay, Hatcher, Rex. I guess we swing in the air. Hey, good game, opponent. Not going to waste their time by playing the other cards, guys. If they had anything untapped at all, then I would have played it out completely. But they had no flyers, no creatures with abilities that can do anything. They were completely tapped out. Everything was on us. So just swing in the air for the 6 damage. I'm not going to waste their time, right? However, there are plenty of games where they still have like a mountain open. And even though that mountain probably doesn't do anything against our big old chunky creatures, I still play it out to its fullest just in case I'm missing something. In this case, there was nothing to miss. But honestly, more mana was pretty bad. Second Twinflame Tyrant coming down off the Carnelian Orb and powering up the Sarkhan to fly in the air too was a huge chunk of damage. So much, in fact. What would it have been? 30 damage or something like that? So even if we didn't swing last turn, 2 very explosive deck lists. They were 1 creature away from giving haste to everything. If they would have just seen their Hatcher, they would have won. Scary business, man. Really, really scary business. That's like, it's such a similar concept to the first game too, where Mono Red just... It's, yeah, a very similar concept. By Mono Red's 4th turn, it was over. Yeah, treasure token gives us green for Bloomvine. I like this. We go first too. That's really lucky. I'm going to reveal the Twinflame over the Bloomvine. Second Bloomvine. That's not terrible, is it? Yeah, I'm going to reveal the Twinflame so that way they don't have, like, if we reveal Bloomvine and we only have double Mountain, there's like a really small chance that the opponent figures out that the treasure token is being used for our only green source, and they could have something to deal with it, right? You just never know. So in this scenario, giving them less information is very important. All right. Forest, forest. Play one, play the other. We're ready. We're ready to go, guys. Double Tannuk. Oh, the opponent's missing mana. All right, well, I hope they find some mana here, guys. I do, because this is not how I like to test deck lists, as you guys know. Now, the other Bloomvine Regent is actually probably better than just doing the Tannuk, but I don't know. We'll get the Tannuk down because they're missing mana, unfortunately. They find the mana. Tannuk, get down, bro. Oh, Deep Cavern Bat. I don't know what they take. No idea. Twinflame? Maybe. I don't think the opponent knows what to take either. I agree, opponent. I 110% agree. Twinflame, okay, nice. So, Gorehound, they're going to keep that on top. Must be more mana, right? Speaking of more mana, nice. 5th mana is pretty good. Gives us 2 open, then plus the 6 from the Ventmaw. I guess that doesn't matter too much, does it? I mean, we'll still stick to the warp, though. Right? I think so. Yeah, we don't need the 8 mana based on the hand. And of course, getting the Twinflame would be much better. Like, Twinflame on the board would be much better here. Remember, this is going away. I guess we established the other Ventmaw ready for next turn. I hope that's okay, guys. We could also find the 6th off the top, but if they find, like... Okay, there's the 3rd mana. My bet is they kept that on top from the Surveil. They do find a Shoot the Sheriff for the Ventmaw on the board, which definitely slows us down a little bit. They go for a full swing. But with Tannuk surviving, I mean... And we do find the 6th mana too. Wow. Yep. Really good. Yeah, with Tannuk surviving this long, the extra haste and everything's crazy business. Really, 1 swamp? Oh, they're going to just take a little bit less damage here. Okay. Yep, we play the Bloomvine Regent then. Go back up to 16. Anyone's game, for sure. For sure, because we could just top deck mana for the next 4 turns or something as the opponent finds removal. They could play 4th Swamp, double down on removal, right? And then we could just find mana for the rest of the game. I'm going to try the block, for sure. They already used 2 stabs, so... Sugar Rush. Oh, guys. The stab? That was good, opponent, but we get Twinflame Tyrant. So, wow, we do actually find mana here, too. So, we don't even have to warp this. We could just outright cast it. And we get an incredible swing. Absolutely incredible. Can't believe it, guys. Huh. Well, 1 win from Platinum. Let's get there. Again, a little lucky. The opponent missed mana for like 2 turns in a row. They just played with 1 swamp. So we essentially were able to establish Tannuk before like, so we established it so early that they had to deal with the dragons that were actually out there instead of dealing with the Tannuk. That being said, if they dealt with that, kept our dragons, yeah, they just don't know what we're ramping into, right? And then we could have top decked like a Craterhoof Behemoth or something too. I don't know. No. That wouldn't have worked. The Ventmaw has to swing first. So, Craterhoof in here for the surprise. Bad hand. We should mulligan. Right? Right, guys? Okay, I'll mulligan. We have all the mana we need, though, and we're going first. Yeah, we need our early ramp for sure. Okay, Sarkhan, Carnelian Orb, Tannuk, Craterhoof. I guess we send Craterhoof. Again, really just in here for the surprise. Might not even be worth it, guys. Maybe we just want more artifacts and or red creature cards on the top end. But for surprise, packed into the deck list, so... Stomping Ground, Scout. Oh, we don't have a dragon. Sarkhan's looking a little awkward. Do we still play it? I think we still play it. Yeah, we don't have a dragon to behold, which is definitely rough. But I guess we still get the creature down, and when we do find a dragon eventually, at least the Sarkhan grows as the dragon's land. We still have ramp on the Carnelian Orb for when it comes time too, so... If we did have a dragon, we would have been ramping into that Tannuk for the next turn, which would have been really good. Okay, we're up against some Gruul aggro, guys, which should be incredibly scary. Yeah, who knows what that Stomping Ground is holding up here. Our Sarkhan might have actually held up the swing from the Scout. I'll take the block still, even if they have a combat trick. Looks like no swings. We did hold them up. We find a Dragonhawk, which of course would have been much better last turn for the ramp. But that's really good, man. Holy cow. All right. Go for the ramp. Sarkhan holding him up. Yeah, I'm glad we mulliganed. This was much better. Although if we didn't mulligan, maybe we could have found some of our ramp off the top. By turn 2, find a Sarkhan, for example. Maybe. Nemesis. Right. I'll take that trade all day into the recruit. Nova. Speaking of Witchstalker Frenzy, guys, the opponent's deck list is very much a Witchstalker Frenzy deck list. So if they find it, I guess it is what it is, right? If they don't find it, and we get to keep Tannuk around, oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. I think we start with the Dragonhawk, right? If we find mana off the Dragonhawk, we'll play it. Gets us one step closer to the surprise, maybe. Yeah, Witchstalker Frenzy's 4 mana. They can swing with both. It goes down to 2 mana. They can pop the Tannuk, still have 1 open. That's scary. Hopefully they miss the Witchstalker Frenzy, guys. I think a lot is leaning on this Tannuk here. They have a backwoods. We go down to 16. They find another Screaming Nemesis. Oh, crap, dude. Okay. We don't want to lose the Tannuk to anything. Molten Exhale not working well against Nemesis at all. So, yeah, we have Warp on the dragon, but then what, huh? Then we might die next turn. If both Nemesis gets through, speaking of Witchstalker Frenzy, right? Hit the Nemesis, we just die next turn. 11 total damage once the Nemesis gets through. I guess it is what it is. Like I said, right? Warp out the Dragonhawk, see what we can get done here. We can keep the Tannuk as a blocker. We do find more mana, which is great news. This gives us the Molten Exhale open. Tannuk as emergency blocker is probably fine. Swing in the air, see another one. Sarkhan, wow, another emergency blocker. I think I'll take that over the Molten Exhale. What do you guys think? It's not extra damage coming through, but behold the Dragonhawk. Cool. Very cool. I mean, the deck list is really neat so far, isn't it? It's really cool. Right now we're just having some issues with some meta cards, but that's gonna happen for sure, especially when you're rocking jank. And so far, it doesn't feel nearly as janky. Oh! Don't have another one. Don't have another one, opponent. Don't do it. Bushwhack. Wow, dude. Pop the Sarkhan? No. I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because we don't have any blocks here, right? Yeah, trample 8. No, 7 gets through there. We block the... Yeah. It doesn't matter where they would have hit. I was going to say, popping the 1 blocker, then swinging for 10 would have also done it, but it doesn't really matter because of the trample, but then also the Nemesis ability. All right, now we're 2 wins away from Platinum, the bottom of Platinum, where I like to hang out, where I like to sit there and look pretty. Guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description, where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Also, guys, for the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well, because it really does help out the channel. So thank you guys. Keeping it. I like it. Opponent drops to 6 here. Very fast. Drops to 5. Don't leave, opponent. Don't leave. This is a good hand. I like this hand. Hey, opponent sticking around. A champion. A champion, to say the least. Let's see a Sarkhan off the top. Conduit pylons. Well, it's not a Sarkhan, but I'm not mad about double Bloomvines. Womp. Right into the ramp. Have double forest. I love Bloomvine Regent so much. I love how much it thins the deck list, but also just acting as ramp too. It's actually crazy. I mean, Tannuk doesn't survive mono black, right? So we might just want to wait for like a really explosive Smuggler's surprise, since we already have the 6 mana that we need. Maybe we can get some of their removal out of their hand. Playing Bloomvine Regent. Nah. Let's go with Nova Hellkite here, and we'll spend a little bit less mana with the warp, and then no, I'll just warp it in. Yeah. If we had other important things, so that we're trying to get removal out of the opponent's hand, I was deciding between Bloomvine Regent or Nova Hellkite. Obviously here I decided on the Hellkite for the one being popped. If we warped it in, we would have had 2 open mana, which could matter depending on what's in our hand, but in this scenario it doesn't matter. Velgavoth. Well, I guess good game, opponent. What do we do about Velgavoth, guys? It has Vigilance. The first thought is, oh, we'll wait till they swing in, then surprise them with a Smuggler surprise. All right, opponent, I guess I'm thinking turn 4 Velgavoth is going to be hard for any deck list. Unfortunately, it's punishing our poor jank. Molten Exhale doesn't hit it. Pretty much anything in Gruul. Can you guys think of something that could hit a Velgavoth easily in Gruul colors? All right. I'm just going to establish the Tannuk and keep the Molten Exhale open, and then hope that they actually miss removal for Tannuk, because there's a chance they go up to 29 here. There's a chance that we can warp out the Savage Ventmaw, have enough open mana to do the top 2 abilities on surprise after the swing, and then just win with... Wait, Doesn't this have vigilance? I apologize, guys. I just entered this universe, apparently. Doesn't Velgavoth have... What is happening? Okay, well, let's see what we can pull off here. Ooh, Craterhoof Behemoth is crazy. Wow. Right. So, number one, if we want Smuggler's Surprise before combat would be Behemoth and Ventmaw, but then we don't have a chance of winning this turn. So we want Smuggler's Surprise in the middle of combat here. Uh-oh, I guess they could have instant speed removal, which would definitely ruin the plan completely. Opponent? Opponent? No. Okay, it's a second Bitter Triumph, and sometimes that's all it takes is a couple Bitter Triumphs. At that point, guys, at that point, Ventmaw's going over into exile. I apologize, opponent. I'm using my timers, huh? Yep. Might as well use Claim Territory, right? It gets us one step closer to actually just casting the Behemoth, which won't matter too much here. So there's definitely something to be said about me overlooking the fact that Velgavoth doesn't have Vigilance. I literally have no idea what I was thinking, guys. I really don't. They had cast out our Tannuk for not the victory. I thought maybe another creature was going to come down for the victory. Now, we do have enough mana to do the top two abilities. So let's see if we can do 31 damage in one turn, which I suppose wouldn't be completely unheard of here. Let's see it, guys. Oh, might as well do all of them since we have 9 mana on the board. Hey, those are my cards. Oh, we don't find too much here anyways, unfortunately, but still pretty cool. If we could have found... No, we would have still needed the Tannuk on the board for everything, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess best case scenario would have been after the Velgavoth swing, actually using the Smuggler's Surprise. Hey, good game, opponent. We're going to try for one more game. And next time I see Velgavoth, I'll know it does not have Vigilance. I'm going to let them play it out as long as they don't take too long here, because everyone has quests to get done. However, okay, they were thinking about the Smuggler's Surprise, I suppose. Another Velgavoth into the grave to grab the Demon Wall. Yeah. Let them have a field day, huh? Always feel free to skip ahead, guys. I do like letting the opponents play it out. They go for the swing this time. So they didn't want to use the other top ability spree on the surprise. But opponent, I was letting you get some quests done. Yeah, anyways, always feel free to skip ahead. Down in the description, we have timestamps. Down at the bottom of the video, we have, you can scroll over, or mouse over, I guess I should say, and you can see the chapters down at the bottom there. But yeah, when in doubt, just check out the timestamps in the description for sure. One more, guys, one more. I definitely feel the jank side of things, but wow, the opponents are popping off, huh? It's actually crazy sometimes, even when we're not playing jank like this, what we have to consider jank, because it just doesn't pop off as much as what the opponents are bringing to the table, you know? If we miss our third, this is terrible. If we find our third, I like it. We'll find our third, guys. We're fine. Or Sarkhan. Sarkhan's 4 cards in the deck list outside of mana. That would also work really well here. So, like, 26 cards in the deck list. 50% chance of hitting it for the next 2 turns here. We find a Ventmaw. It's okay, guys. Everything's fine. I promise. Oh, no. Oh, no. I promised and everything. Hey, we got there. All right. We're fine. Just one turn behind. All right. Now we're talking, dude. Now we're talking. Maelstrom isn't terrible, is it? Thin the deck list further with Bloomvine. Establish Tannuk. Tannuk dies immediately. Bloomvine can just come down. Get some spot removal out of the opponent's hand. Against Orzhov colors, yeah, pretty much Tannuk is just dead, right? So, honestly, further deck thinning might even be better, but I think we'll just play the Bloomvine Regent. Walk right into some removal here, go up to 23. By getting some of the removal out of the opponent's hand, we're hoping Tannuk survives when it comes time. Oh no, guys, Velgavoth in the grave. Ah, guys. It has vigilance, right? I'm teasing. right on the map. Okay. Oh no, guys. Oh no. Right. Well. Right. I guess we play Tannuk this turn. They might have just spot removal on their turn, right? So we do have a good hand to warp things onto the board. If we could find a surprise off the top, maybe we could end it. But no, Tannuk's going to die right here, right now anyways. Tannuk gets underneath the Velgavoth, and they go ahead and play it. And Molten Exhale does not pick up the Tannuk. Scary business, man. I mean, depending on what you're up against, there's almost like no chance, you know? They go back up to 22 here. Smuggler surprise. Wow. If Tannuk would have survived the turn, we could have won. Right? That's crazy. Seriously, guys, just the fact that we missed mana that one turn might have been the one turn. No, it probably didn't matter, but that's crazy, man. Maybe we find a Tannuk off the top ability on the surprise here. No, we only have 7 mana. Okay, hold on, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. What's the most fun thing we can do? Is there anything? There really isn't, right? Smuggler's surprise, get 2 tyrants down. And double tyrants could block Velgavoth if they survive. They want us having some fun. So we can do this on their turn. See what we can get done. 1 tyrant might survive. The problem is they've only played 2 Bitter Triumphs so far, guys. There's at least 8 more Bitter Triumphs packed into the opponent's deck list. So I'm concerned. All right. We'll go ahead. Power 4 or greater. It doesn't matter because the Twinflame Tyrants don't have Power 4 or greater. Actually, Ventmaw does, though. That could be good. They take out the Twinflame Tyrant regardless, I suppose. Oh, if one Twinflame Tyrant dies, yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if they have instant speed spot removal, it does not matter. If it was double Twinflame Tyrants, it still would have only been 6 from the block. So when they do remove the Tyrant here, we have the block with Ventmaw, which means it doesn't die. 3rd Bitter Triumph, guys. Man. And they are going back up to 28 as well. They got 5 mana, but they have Smuggler's Surprise. They have our Twinflame Tyrant as well. Another Smuggler's Surprise would be really good if we can actually swing with the Ventmaw, find a Smuggler's Surprise, use all 3 abilities on it. Maybe we could get there, especially if we find another Twinflame Tyrant, right? This is crazy, man. Seriously, as far as jank goes, we have a surprising amount of options. They do go ahead and get a blocker down here, though. we do find another Twinflame Tyrant. Of course, not a whole lot we can do if they find removal. What? But that's pretty good. 9 damage. I guess we'll kill both the Ventmaw and the Tyrant. Yeah, we really got stuck between a rock and a hard place today, guys. If we would have had some easier matchups, maybe this isn't as janky as I'm thinking. I'm probably crazy for thinking that, though, right? Probably. A nice full swing from the opponent here gets 12 through, unless... Oh, Tannuk gives them all haste. Oh. Oh, dear. Okay. Right. So, Molten Exhale doesn't hit, like, anything on their board. Check out my other Twinflame Tyrant in hand, right? We can take out one of those. Yeah, I guess we die no matter what, because Twinflame Tyrant is doubling everything on their board. But we do have some really good blocks here, like Twinflame Tyrant into the Overlord, for example. Hey, that's my Molten Exhale. That's right, guys. That's right. Everything under the Velgavoth they can play. Well, it didn't matter too much anyways, but... That's scary, man. Holy cow. 39 to negative 29. Opponent. You almost missed a lethal, buddy. You almost missed it. That's close. At any point, guys, I do think that we could have been explosive enough to actually get there, which is kind of crazy to think about. How about an end of video pack? Let's crack an Edge of Eternities pack here real quick, see what we got. Ooh, hey. Selesnya counters. I'm down. I also have to read that card for the 18th time. As I learn new cards, guys, it takes me forever, especially when every single card has just a wall of text on every single one. But I know that it wants to be in a +1/+1 counter build, right? So, Gruul Dragons, way better than I thought, but also still really janky. Go ahead, put it on the do not craft list, guys. 1, it is janky. 2, put everything on the do not craft list for the first couple weeks of any given set release, especially after rotation. No one knows where the meta is going to settle. For example, all those games, all those videos, since rotation, I haven't seen a Velgavoth a single time. And then today we run into it twice in a row. So no one knows where the meta will settle. Be very careful with your wild cards, right? This one's expensive too. Smuggler Surprise is rare, Sarkhan's rare, Tannuk is mythic. This is going to be such a fun build around. I already have like a few other builds with Tannuk in it. For some reason, I chose this one to be the first one that I showcase with Tannuk. I don't know, man. I was looking at the deck list and I was like, man, that's just really cool, isn't it? This whole concept of warping out the Ventmaw, getting the extra mana for a surprise, and then surprising in a couple Twinflame Tyrants or a Craterhoof Behemoth or something. I don't think Behemoth is worth it on the top end here, guys. I think I would go up a couple more dragons. That double strike dragon is probably more than worth it in here. But guys, it's so janky. Look, I only got one of these too, so I would not craft the second one. If I was dropping Behemoth and going up 2 Terror of Mounts, I would just go up 1, okay? I would not craft a second one at all. That being said, it's a really cool concept having that with Tannuk, as you could warp it out for 3, swing in the air for 10 damage. That's pretty good, right? And other creatures also have the double strike too, so Tannuk also has double strike. I don't want to do that because, well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll drop a Behemoth down to 1, go up a Terror. We're dropping a Mythic, going up a Rare. And it's another dragon, so it works with Sarkhan too. Okay, I'll make that change. Yeah. Guys, this is why the end of video discussion is pretty important, because we do change the deck list sometimes. Always keep an eye on that when you're looking at the deck list down in the description and everything, and over on Aether Hub too. That being said, again, please please put this on the do not craft list. Do not craft this, bro. If you have all the cards, have a field day, have a good time. I think if you're looking at this deck list like, oh man, I really got to craft that, then you already love jank and you don't care about victories either. So that's probably fine. But yeah, if you have all the cards, this could be a fun one for you. If you have all the cards and you love jank, right? Anyways, continuing to rearrange Molten Exhale. For some reason, we need to do 5 damage to everything, so this missed very often. I don't know if we should drop them though, because you're still going to really want early removal, and Molten Exhale should be pretty good removal. So Mythic on Tannuk, Mythic on Twinflame, Rare on Nova Hellkite. I love this idea of all 4 Sarkhans, all 4 Hellkites. We didn't see them curve out today. I just think that's a really good curve, actually. A Bloomvine Regent's Rare, Mythic on Dragonhawk, Mythic on Craterhoof. We went up that Terror of Mount Velus, which was in the honorable mentions, right? So, and then look at this. Savage Ventmaw, actually just an uncommon. Of course, the mana base is rare, but between Stomping Ground and Thornspire Verge, at least, you'll be able to use those in other Gruul deck lists and have quite success with these two being paired together, right? Maelstrom is really only for Dragon deck list, right? So a couple of those two. Once we do some rearranging, you can see just how expensive it actually is. Like I said, though, at least the Verge and the Stomping Ground can be used in other Gruul deck lists, so... All right, guys, let's do some more rearranging. Can you guys think of another creature that would be better than the Behemoth in here? You'd think with all 4 Smuggler Surprise, Behemoth would still be a really good one. And then don't forget, too, how many games did we actually ramp far enough to where we could just outright cast the Behemoth? A good chunk of those games, right? Yeah, we got completely outplayed today with multiple deck lists dropping multiple Screaming Nemesis. If either of those deck lists just missed one Nemesis, there could have been a real chance that we popped off successfully. Now, when you pop off, you really need to pop off in one turn, like immediately. So, all right, guys. Either way, I think that's all I have to say. So, yeah, if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. Let me know down in the comments. Am I being too hard on the deck list? I don't think so. I think it's super janky, but still a really neat one, nonetheless, right? So, all right, guys. Hey, I will see you in the next video.